and economic corridors that, through coordination between municipal governments, nonprofits, and community organizations. This new status links well with the previously secured enterprise zone designation, which includes Lewistown and Burnham boroughs and Derry and Granville townships. The enterprise zone designation went into effect last October, and one would be hard-pressed to find any community in Pennsylvania with both of these designations in place at this time. Main Street Matters is an important addition to our community, and we are very humbled and thankful for this recognition and opportunity. When I think of our governor, words like visionary, decisive, responsible, accountable, strategic, impactful, supportive, and responsive come to mind. Every day, Governor Shapiro fosters a growth-oriented teamwork atmosphere where state and local governments and businesses are working together to enhance our great Commonwealth. Before becoming commissioner in 2012, I spent nearly 30 years in Harrisburg. I had the opportunity to observe and interact with many legislators and other elected officials. From my experiences and from what I have witnessed at both the local and national levels in recent years, there's no doubt in my mind that in Josh Shapiro, we have the top governor in the United States. Now, without any further ado, Governor Shapiro.
Thanks, Commissioner. Thank you. Let's put our hands together for Commissioner Kodish. Thank you very much. To you and your colleagues, I know being a county commissioner is where the rubber meets the road, and I appreciate the work you do every day. And let me say, this is awesome to have all of you guys here. What a special day in Lewistown. And I want to say it's great to see so many happy faces. It's especially great to see so many of the young people who turned out today. I was waving to some of the kids in the back. It is very cool that you all are here, and I hope afterwards I get a chance to meet with you and get a chance to talk with you and hear what's on your mind, because I think it matters what our kids think. And I think it really matters that in a community, you've got a main street with an amazing coffee house like this that can be a place to gather, a place to talk, a place to get together and resolve differences and find common ground. And of course, you need a table where typically it's a bunch of the older guys in the community who come together, have their coffee every morning, and profess that they can solve the world's problems a hell of a lot better than me or somebody else. So I'm anxious to meet with those guys too, and they can tell us all about their vision for the world. I want to say thank you to Ryan for having us here at East End Coffee. I mean, this is just awesome. I'm looking forward to getting my iced coffee before I go, and it's wonderful to be back in Lewistown today to visit some of the great businesses here in Mifflin County. We were over at Paisley Bride with Morgan and Lemon and Lime with Jessica, and the Geisinger School of Nursing. That is really cool, a cool dynamic that they've got that right here on Main Street. Thank you, Beth. And I must say to Ryan and Lila, like this, you know, the coffee shop, like this is the place, right? This is the place where you come and you have the opportunity to gather, and I just think that is awesome. And to John, I can't wait to get my pizza next door. I'm looking forward to having lunch. They let me actually take one out of the oven and slice it up. So I'm a big pizza guy, and I'm excited for that. Look, I get the privilege of spending a whole lot of time traveling across this Commonwealth, meeting with the wonderful people that make up Pennsylvania. And you know, you're blessed to be able to represent a place that's got urban areas, suburban areas, rural communities. And a lot of times folks will say to me, like, how do you represent communities that are just so different, right? And the truth is, I find commonalities in all of our wonderful communities across Pennsylvania, rural, urban, and suburban. Most folks kind of want the same things, right? They want good schools for their kids and safe communities for them to grow up in. They want a job in the zip code that they love, typically where they were raised. That's the work that we do every day together with my team, including the great Secretary Rick Seiger from the Department of Community and Economic Development, who joins me here today. The other commonality through all our communities across Pennsylvania is they all have a main street. Now, sometimes the main streets look different, right? They're skyscrapers. Sometimes the main streets are on a small rural road. Sometimes they're 1 or 2 story buildings like here in Lewistown. But every main street is the beating heart of a community. It's the place where people come to gather. It's the place that, to me, shows the vibrancy and the resiliency of a community. And I want you to know main streets matter. We've worked hard to invest in them, and we're going to continue to invest in them. I'm here in Lewistown today because you all have a great Main Street, and one where I see great promise for the future. You can clap for Main Street. And what I love about this Main Street is not necessarily what you see in the facades or what you see when you walk in. But what I love about this Main Street is there's a vision for the future of Lewistown that runs right down this road, that runs right through these shops. They're not satisfied with being a strong, vibrant Main Street as we are today. They've got a vision for what they want Lewistown to look like over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, with plans to improve outdoor spaces and attract more businesses and promote local festivals and outdoor events and bring a whole lot more visitors here to this community. And I want you to know that I think the future is bright for Lewistown, and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is all in when it comes to supporting your vision for what you're trying to build here in this great community in Mifflin County. You have leaders here who believe in all of you and support all of you, and I want you to know that my administration, led by Secretary Siger, we are proud to partner with you to make investments for your future. And so I wanted to come here today to announce that the Department of Community and Economic Development, on my watch, is granting Lewistown the official Main Street designation here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and it means that Lewistown is now qualified to get targeted help and priority consideration for state funding for your next big project. And I want you to know, and the commissioners understand this, we're not here to tell you what it should look like. We're here to take your vision, your ideals, your values, and lift them up and support them with grants and with know-how and with support. Right away, thanks to this designation, Lewistown will get the chance to apply for an initial bucket of funding up to $225,000 that will help them immediately take their plan that they've worked really hard to develop and turn it into action. And then moving forward, because of that designation, Lewistown will get priority consideration for all kinds of other funding opportunities that DCED has, including through our Main Street Matters competitive grant program. Last year, I worked really, really hard to bring Democrats and Republicans together to create for the first time an initiative known as Main Street Matters, where we would have a bucket of funding, $20 million, to invest specifically in our main streets. Again, these are the beating hearts of a community. And I want you to know, it was hard to get that funding together. You may not know this, but at the time, I was the only governor in the entire country with a divided legislature, House led by Democrats and a Senate led by Republicans. I think there's now one other state that has that distinction as well. So for me to get anything to my desk, it requires consensus. It requires me to listen to Republicans and Democrats and find common ground. We found common ground on that $20 million Main Street Matters funding line, which leads us to here today to put us in a position to make those investments in our Commonwealth and make those investments specifically here in Lewistown. Just so you know, it's in high demand, this funding. We received 200 applications, and Secretary Siger was able to award 81 different funding lines across Pennsylvania, which Lewistown is now qualified to receive. Everything from a small business microloan initiative in rural Mercer County to accessible housing in Bucks County in southeastern Pennsylvania. We're helping communities redevelop storefronts and build out sidewalks and improve facades and lighting and safety in a community. I want you to know that this stuff really matters. I was at the National Main Street Conference, which was in Philadelphia not too long ago. It brings together a whole bunch of Main Street leaders from all across the country. I'm glad that they chose Pennsylvania for their national conference because they know how important Main Streets are to our Commonwealth. Julie Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania Downtown Center, she joined us there, and I'm proud she is here today. She'll speak to us in a few moments. to see how we are taking our Main Street plan and moving full steam ahead. I want you to know, and I'm sure Secretary Sager will talk more about this, DCD is accepting applications for Main Street grants through August 31st. So I want to encourage everyone here in Lewistown and other Main Streets that may be watching, now is the time to get your applications for funding in, because we want to invest in communities like this. I mention all of this because one of the things I love about Main Streets is I think it's a team sport. I'm a sports guy, and I think about sports all the time in my work, right? The team that I'm blessed to work with as governor, everybody's got to be doing their part at the top of their game in order for us to succeed on an initiative, whether it's investing in a Main Street or investing in public schools, right? Everybody's got to be working together. I think Main Streets are very similar. You have to have government. You have to have Main Street experts. You got to have small business owners all rowing in the same direction. They got to have a vision. They got to have a plan. And then they've got to have a governor that gives a damn about them to invest in their success. That is what we're doing here. Main Streets matter, and it's team sport, and my administration is all in. And by the way, this isn't just a feel-good thing. This isn't some act of charity. Main Streets are big business for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Think about this. For every $1 we invest in a Main Street, we get $8 returned to the Commonwealth. That's a heck of a return on investment. Main Streets matter, and they're a smart investment. So I'm going to continue to prioritize Main Streets, and I want you to know I've asked the legislature to approve another $20 million for our Main Streets. And listen, there's kind of no Republican or Democratic Main Streets, right? Everybody's got one in their community. They all matter. And right now we're in the midst of working through our budget, trying to find consensus between Democrats and Republicans on things like Main Street funding. I want you to know it's not easy work, but I love doing it. I love finding common ground, because I think when we find common ground, all of Pennsylvania benefits from that. So after I leave here, I'm going to get back to it with the legislative leaders to continue to make progress on this budget and to continue to make progress on critical funding like our funding for Main Street. So I'm excited to be back here in Lewistown today. I got to say, it really means a lot to see all of you here care so deeply about this community, care deeply about the work we're doing in the state. We got a few other speakers who are going to come up and share some thoughts. I'll answer some questions from the media, and then I look forward to getting the chance to shake your hands and hear what's on your mind directly. So thanks for being here today. It means a great deal. And at this point, I am really excited to bring up Ryan Cherry. You all know him, right? Our local guy, the owner of East End Coffee. A great example. Ryan, by the way, they clapped way more for you than me. A guy who bet on this community. He didn't just pay it lip service. He planted his roots here. He invested here, and he built a place that the community loves to come to. So, Ryan, thanks for being here today. Thanks for caring deeply about this community. Ladies and gentlemen, your friend Ryan.
Man, that is a tough act to follow. I'm not sure how I got after him.
You're good. You're good.
Me and my wife Lila started East End in 2017, and it has been a real busy time ever since then. We're super thankful for everybody to be here, and we started this not just to serve great coffee, but we definitely started it to bring the community together. No matter what your worldview is, what your political view is, what your religious view is, different lifestyles, all under a common roof to make Lewistown not just what it could be, but what it should be. Okay, we wanted to provide a location for those people that might not have had a home before. The artists, musicians, creators, creatives. We wanted to provide a place for you to get out and do your thing. We believe so much that divisive speech and rhetoric that we hear in the world today locally comes comes from the lack of community. It comes from you not being face to face with your neighbor, not talking to people. From you living in an online echo chamber where everybody's just reaffirming your beliefs. So we wanted to create a space that would help offset that racket, for lack of a better word. While I fear current headlines and rhetoric are designed to tear people apart, I truly believe that spaces like this are here to bring people together. And that's what we want to do. We want to create cool things here in Lewistown. So let's do it. to wrap up, I want to thank the governor's staff, the governor, they've been awesome. I want to thank Lila's parents, my parents, who are both here today. Thank you, guys. Our awesome landlord, Nat, the incredible the incredible East End staff. We have the best staff around. If you come in here, you know that they're the best. Yeah. Jim Zubler, wherever Jim is, Jim's over there. And I want to give a special shout out to Rhonda and Jenny of the Chamber and the Visitors Bureau. They've been our biggest supporters from day one. So thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody. Up next is Secretary Savage. Awesome. Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Great job, yeah. Well, thanks, Ryan. My name is Rick Seiger. I have the great honor of serving Governor Shapiro and all of you as Secretary of Community and Economic Development. Great to be here. Thrilled to join not just the governor today, but this amazing group of folks from this community to celebrate like a real jewel of central Pennsylvania. Thanks, Ryan, friends from East End Coffee, for hosting us, for great coffee. And, as we talked about, and as I talk about everywhere I go, economic development's a team sport. Thanks to local leaders, borough managers, county commissioners, to Jim, it takes a team, and we at DCED are honored to be a part of your team. Since taking office in 2023, and you heard the governor talk about this a little bit, we've visited really dozens of main streets across Pennsylvania. We've talked to residents and community leaders, to small businesses, and really no matter where you go, and no matter how unique each main street is, and of course every one is, whether it's a big city or suburban corridor or a place like Lewistown, they all have things in common. They're places where businesses and people want to be, places where people want to live, where friends and families want to visit and stay. And critically, main streets are what everyone thinks of when you think of a place. They're community hubs for people to gather, and they're economic engines that fuel local and regional growth. That's why main streets are so important. And it's why we were so thrilled that the governor secured $20 million in last year's budget for the program we're talking about today, Main Street Matters. Because we know that the health of our main streets is crucial for the health of every region of Pennsylvania, and on the larger scale, really for our entire Commonwealth. And now, as you heard, as a DCED designated Main Street, Lewistown has some real tools at its disposal to help you move your strategy forward. You're eligible for technical assistance and programmatic support from the Downtown Center. We'll hear from Julie in a minute, with no charge for the next 5 years. You'll have priority status for funding applications submitted to our department through DCED and be eligible for Neighborhood Assistance Program Enterprise Zone tax credits for private sector development. These are benefits that are a shot in the arm. Technical assistance plus funding, plus a real vision that you all have put together to help drive community improvements, and as the governor said, to help local leaders realize your vision to make Lewistown a better place to live, to work, to play, and to innovate, and to drink coffee. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, for everyone else in Pennsylvania, and for you, of course, our Main Street Matters program is open once a year for 2 months, July 1 to August 31. One of the reasons we're here now is to highlight that point. Make sure you apply. It's a competitive program. Many terrific communities across Pennsylvania will apply. Call our team or check us out at dced.pa.gov for more information. Without the dedication and hard work of many folks in this room, without the kind of collaboration we've talked about, this doesn't happen. This kind of delegation doesn't happen. This funding isn't available. The vision that you all are putting together for this region doesn't exist. So congratulations to y'all. From elected officials to community leaders to residents, business owners, I hope you feel proud of what you're accomplishing today and you feel excited for the future. And I'm sure there will be many more great days like this in the months and years ahead for this community. I know I speak for our entire team at DCD when I say that we look forward to supporting you throughout. Thank you very much. And now it's my pleasure for our final speaker to introduce a great partner of our department, Julie Fitzpatrick, who leads the Pennsylvania Downtown Center. Julie.
This is exciting. So thank you, everyone, for being here, for really supporting the community and supporting our local leaders. Thank you to Secretary Seiger, our governor, commissioners, all three are here, and certainly to the Cherries, thank you for creating this amazing space. All I have to say is finally. This day, did you just chuckle, Jim? Yeah. This day has been many years in the making, and I am certainly excited to be here with all of you today. I'd certainly like to acknowledge and thank Jim Zubler, Downtown Lewistown's Executive Director and Main Street Coordinator, who has been instrumental in Lewistown's revitalization efforts through the years. Main Street work is hard work, but it's heart work. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank and acknowledge Downtown Lewistown's board chair and member of PDC's board of directors, John Zimmerman. And I wish John was with us here today. John was a champion for Lewistown and a champion for downtowns and neighborhoods throughout Pennsylvania. We lost him just a few short months ago, but he will never be forgotten in the legacy that he's left in this town. Our role at the Pennsylvania Downtown Center in partnership with DCD is to support towns and cities, Main Street business districts and Elm Street neighborhoods to be the best versions of themselves. We can be called on to provide education and technical assistance to boards, committees, business owners, developers, to provide coaching and resources to enhance both the local economy, help create exciting and memorable events, and places where people want to be, to meet up with old friends and to make new friends. We can also be a resource for funding opportunities that go beyond the state too, and learning tricks and tools of the trade. One of the perks of being an organization that's been around since 1987 is that we have been around. We have an incredibly supportive network of revitalization professionals and nonprofit community development organizations who collectively have a wealth of knowledge and experience of what's worked and sometimes most importantly what hasn't worked, but they're available to lean on and to learn from. Within the last few years, we've been thrilled to bring unique initiatives to Lewistown, such as Grow with Google and equitable entrepreneurial ecosystem workshops through our partnership with Main Street America. And we hope we can continue to bring opportunities like this to Lewistown and other communities throughout Pennsylvania. Supporting locally owned independent businesses is at the heart of Main Street. Some of us connect to the nostalgia and the memories of our childhood while making new memories with our children and our grandchildren. And we are helping to create more local opportunities, investing more on Main Street and less on Wall Street. The work we all do is about creating places, real places where kids can grow up and seniors can grow old. Places that are as authentic in their stories and character as they are in their architecture. Places where families choose to set down roots, know their neighbors, and have the support to start a business. As Secretary Seiger and now Governor Shapiro once said, and today specifically, economic development, community development are team sports. And our organization is thrilled to be part of the team here in Lewistown and elsewhere in PA. Thank you. Governor, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. All right, so let me take a few questions from the press, and then I'd love to get the chance to visit with all of you. Anybody?
Governor, I know you want to invest back into this program
Yeah.
so you can do more stuff like this. That requires a budget.
Yeah.
3 weeks overdue. A lot of school districts, counties are starting to wonder if they're going to have to start taking corrective measures. I know you said you're optimistic, but what do you say to everybody who's worried about whether it's programs like this or other stuff?
I get it. What I would say to them is they should know that they have one of the only divided governments in the entire country. And I think everybody just kind of instinctively knows it is hard work to find common ground. It's really hard work to find ways to get Democrats and Republicans to agree. And yet that is what we need to do on a roughly $50 billion budget that we're negotiating right now. I can tell you that in my discussions with the Republican leaders in the Senate, Democratic leaders in the House, those are the majority leaders there, it's been cordial, it's been respectful. Everybody understands the issues, and we're working hard to find common ground. I wish it didn't take this long. I'm frustrated by how long it takes. I introduced my budget about 160 days ago. That being said, this is where we are, and we're working through it. And I'm very hopeful that we're going to find that common ground, invest again in our schools and safety and economic development, and continue the string of successes we've had by finding that common ground between Democrats and Republicans and continuing to get stuff done here in Pennsylvania. I've been really clear. I think I've been governor 2.5 years. It is clear that Pennsylvania is on the rise. We are winning big economic development deals. We are funding our schools. We're investing in reducing crime, and crime is down nearly 40% in Pennsylvania. We are doing the hard work to bring people together and continue the investments that are leading to those successes, and I'm confident we're going to get there.
Governor Shapiro, over in Center County, the decision on the closures of Rockview and Pohanna have been delayed. Any comment on that and when a decision could be made?
The Department of Corrections is working on that, listening to the thoughts of the community and examining the needs, and the Department of Corrections will have more to say on that in the future.
Governor, there's speculation that the decision on Pohanna and Rockview is perhaps part of the budget negotiations, and that part of that may be the reason why the budget is still held up. Is that an issue at all?
Department of Corrections is working through their process. We've got a specific process that we adhere to here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. DOC is running that. I let them run it, and it's going to be based on the needs, based on the facts, based on the costs, and they're going to make their judgment known soon.
About why we're here today.
Yeah.
How does this initiative help bring Lewistown back to its glory days?
You invest in a main street, you strengthen a community. You know, every community across Pennsylvania, rural, urban, suburban, has a main street, and the stronger that main street, the stronger the community. I believe in places like Lewistown. This is part of the fabric of our great Commonwealth. I want us to invest here. This designation here today opens up Lewistown to receiving all kinds of state dollars and state support, and I'm looking forward to working with our partners here to get that done and drive more state dollars into Lewistown.
Governor, I know Senate Republicans have asked you to condemn some comments made by Ryan Dwyer about Stacey Garrett potentially running for governor. Do you have any thoughts on that, especially as we're going to start to see people announce or people start talking about running? Do you have any response to them?
Yeah, look, here's what I know to be true. The Republicans will nominate someone to run against me for governor. Let them play that out. They'll deal with their politics on their side. I'm going to continue doing my job governing for all Pennsylvanians, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, and keep getting stuff done. Thanks, everybody. Okay? Thank you. Good job.